Hey everybody, Ramey here, and today I'm going to talk about just kind of what's been going on. I want to talk about like what's been going on in society, what's been going on in education, like what's been happening with me and my family and all that kind of stuff during like the whole coronavirus thing. So first of all, um, today is day one of my university going online. Kind of crazy, and let's see, not only is today day one of us going online, but a lot of schools are doing it. A lot of K to 12 students are home. People in America are super freaked out right now. Society's like actually crazy. So let's talk about like all that stuff. And I just want to kind of get through and I guess talk about all of it today. So first, let's start with me and what's going on like at my household. So first of all, I have three kids. They are ages 4, 7, and 9. Geez, I used to say they were like toddlers, but now they're like in third grade, first grade, and gonna be in kindergarten maybe next fall if we have it. So right now they're home, um, which is kind of crazy. So my kids are year round, which means that um, they have like these long breaks. So fortunately, in our situation, so last week the state of North Carolina canceled school for 2 weeks. My kids were supposed to start their 3 week spring break today, so they only have missed 1 week of school, and now they have the next 3 weeks off. I don't think the state of North Carolina has extended the other kids' breaks yet, but there is absolutely like no way that these students are going back to school in a week from now. They're definitely gonna be off. So we have that not going for us. So that's like the state of like K to 12 schools around me. Like I don't think kids are going back this year because so far, like, so let's talk about like what we've been doing with this virus and like how we've been handling it. So we know that like cases are down in China. We know that cases are going down in South Korea. We know that Taiwan did a really good job of stopping it. But in America, we're kind of following the path of Italy, who did not really do what those other countries did and is having a heck of a time right now in lockdown because like their cases just keep going up. They finally things got looked a little better yesterday, maybe. And hopefully it's going to improve there. But like we're following on that same path. We're being reactive, we're reacting to what's happening versus being proactive. Um, I've been trying to read the research and read between the lines and see what I could really like, what makes the most, like, what are the top scientists who study this stuff saying. And basically, what they're saying is if we shut down right now, just shut everything down for like 2 weeks, in that 2 week time, we would know where we'd be able to test everyone like who was sick, figure out where all the symptoms were, where all the people were, identify them, mandatory quarantining them, and very slowly start to open things up in like 2 to 4 weeks from now and figure and start to like kill off clusters. Instead, what we're doing is we still allow people to fly within the U.S. You can still travel everywhere. If I went out like to the store right now, like people would be there. I mean, cars are like everywhere. Like it's a regular Monday, and it's totally not a regular Monday right now. People are not listening. I was at the grocery store a week and a half ago, and somebody was just like rubbing their nose in the aisle and then like touching the wine bottle, and I was like, oh my god, don't touch your face. Like I think we're missing like this lack of education, and we're totally not social distancing as much as we should. Now, my family, we've been in for a solid week. I did go to the grocery store at one point. We have had one or two deliveries of groceries. We did go to the beach on Friday, but we went early in the morning when there's usually no one there, kind of thing. But now the beaches are closed because a bunch of people had to all go like when it was nice out and sit next to each other, and kind of ruin that for everybody. So that's totally not happening anymore. um, so it's like kind of scary. People around where I am are like not worried. Some are, but like in general, they're not. Because there's only been a few cases around us, and they've all been identified as like someone who traveled from somewhere. But that's how it starts. you know, Someone travels. That's how it started in New York and everywhere else. We do have a major airport here, so it's kind of like crazy stuff. So that's what's been happening in society, and I really like beg our society to like just stop everything, stay home, wash your hands if you do anything like really, really well. Clean your phone, clean door handles. I'm a germaphobe, so I'm always doing that kind of stuff. Okay, so next thing, let's talk about what's happening in education. So in my school, we started online education today. Now, for me, I'm an educational technology professional. Like that's what I'm a professor in. So like, I'm not like my classes are already online. The only way this really affects me is that I just moved my classes back 1 week. But for other professors, man, if you're not teaching online, you don't know how to do it, and you're only given a week to put your basically they were given a week and a half to put their classes online. And if you think about that, like they were given a week and a half to put their classes online in the midst of a pandemic. So think about it, like how high is your anxiety right now? Like if I had to give my anxiety like a 0 to a 10 right now, like mine's probably like an 8. Like it's high. Like everyone's on edge. Like it's a scary time, and like you're so like it's scary for our students, but it's scary for our professors. Like I don't expect them to have good quality online courses right now, given the time frame and the stress that they're under. It just in life, like people are worried about like, do I have at least 2 weeks of groceries? What can I do? What can't I do? How do I social distance? Like, do I have toilet paper, which is like the big ridiculous thing because we can totally live without that. And like things like that, people are worried like, is the food supply going to run out? And no, it's not. We're going to totally have, like, if you look at China and Italy, the worst places hit with this, they always had food, they always had internet, electricity, water. So don't panic and worry about that stuff. Like, you're going to have it. Um, but people are, scared about that stuff. Like, people are going out and buying guns and ammo and like, they're really expecting like end of the world type scenario, and like that's not what this is. Like we're already seeing in other countries like it's ending or stopping or slowing down. Like we know we can do it. We just have to do it. But how is this going to impact us? How is this going to impact the economy? Like I haven't even looked at the stock market yet today. Like I'm actually scared to like look at it. Like let's see, stock market is, wow, down. S&P 500 down 103 points. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So like yeah, it's a little, things are, I'm scared about the economy, but the one thing to think about is like, my field right now is being inundated with people who are like, how do we put our stuff online? How do we conduct business online? How do we hold meetings online? How do we do training online? So like there's more of a demand of people in my field. Amazon's hiring a bunch of people. These other places are like, we need workers. So like while restaurants are closing down, there's a need in other places for skilled workers. So I think that, the way like systems theory and chaos theory work is like a system will balance itself out. And that's what I'm seeing. I really think that what our government needs to do right now to help us with through this situation is we need to shut everything down for a solid 2 to 3 weeks, identify all cases, mandatory quarantine them, shut down all travel, all air travel, that kind of stuff. Only necessities. Because I don't want to get like a trucker sick who like needs to deliver food. So like I shouldn't be out and like everyone else shouldn't be out. And so like you think about this, like how is this affecting like society? Like our kids, I really just don't see how they're going to be going back to school in the fall semester. Like it's kind of, I mean, in the spring, they're not going to be going back until next fall, like because we're just not taking the necessary steps. Too many people aren't taking this seriously enough. I just don't see how educators are going to be able to bounce back and get back, and like that's going to ripple through all the economy. Like restaurants aren't going to be open in 2 or 3 weeks. Like, so all those employees aren't getting paid. And so, what our government needs to do is they need to shut down all mortgage payments, all loans, credit cards, all that kind of stuff need to shut down. We can't worry about the banks and the credit card companies right now. We need to worry about the people. So, you shut down all those loans. The bank will survive if they don't get their mortgage payments for a month. But guess who's not going to survive? Like the 100 million people that have mortgages that aren't getting paid right now. So like that's who we need to worry about. Like we'll worry about the banks later, worry about the people first. And like if we could do that, shut down loans, payments, give free medical care for the next however long this lasts, as soon as we come back, guess what? When all those restaurants open up, they're going to have workers, and those people didn't go bankrupt from this. And the economy will bounce back so great. It'll actually be a good bounce back. It won't be like the Great Depression or like 2008 again. In 2008, we bailed out the banks, not the people, and it was a big mistake. And now I don't know what we're going to do. But we need to shut things down. We need to be We need to be proactive, not reactive. It needs to stop. Things like that need to happen. We're gonna have food. People don't need to go out and hoard stuff. Like, we are gonna have China, Italy have food. You can order it there. You can order Amazon stuff in Italy right now. I've been reading the forums. They said there's like, a couple week wait for things from Amazon, and getting groceries, it's usually like a week out that your delivery comes. So what? We'll get through that pretty easily. The people I feel bad for, the people who are going to hurt the most from this are the people who are not doing well, do not have a 6 month. I try to tell everyone you should always have a 6 month emergency fund for money. It's like the first thing you do before you invest, save up, do anything. You have a 6 month emergency fund. A lot of people aren't going to have that, and they're not going to be getting a paycheck right now. So that's a problem. Is people, like, if you're in a small little apartment, like, can you go outside? Are you going to like get this from like your apartment building, like walking down the hallway or something? Like, I don't know. And I mean, maybe you can't like touch stuff. So like, that's a little weird and awkward for them. And like, I'm lucky I have a yard and a front yard and like a neighborhood, and in my backyard there's a pond and stuff like that. So like, I feel really lucky. But like, it's in like for kids, like they're feeling the stress. Like, my kids talk about coronavirus, and it's like sad to hear them talk about that. And they want to, Kai, my oldest, is missing his first big like birthday sleepover with friends. It was supposed to be last Saturday, and they're missing their soccer practices, and soccer's canceled. And like, they're trying to, they want to play with their friends and do all this fun stuff over their break that we told them they were going to do like a month ago, and now they're not. And yes, these are not big problems. Like, my kids will get over it. They won't even remember in 2 months. But it's like, or hopefully this is done, and they won't. But like, it's still like, it sucks. I mean, that's all there is to say. And like, one of the reasons I want to do like a live stream like this, and I'll probably be live streaming like this, I don't know if I'm going to do it every day, but like maybe once or twice or 3 or 4 or 5 times a week. I don't know, whatever I feel like. Making no promises here. I think that when we look back on this situation in like 2 years from now, videos like this are going to be super important. Like, I think we as educators, or just people in society, should be videoing and capturing like what we're experiencing, because like, when we go back and look at this, like, we want to have documentation. And I think like this is part of it. Like, this is the documentation. Like, this is what's happening. Like, people are scared. People are freaked out. We like literally don't know what's going to happen. And like, our leadership isn't helping. Like, I don't feel confident that they're being proactive and like doing everything they could have been. I mean, I've been preparing for this virus since mid-January, and our leadership was saying it wasn't a big deal, that it was nothing to be concerned about at the time. So, but it was like, we should have been like, why aren't things prepared? Like, I don't understand. Even if you don't think it's going to be a big deal, you still like, I didn't think it was necessarily going to be what it is now. Had I known that, I would have prepared way different. But like, I still started to prepare. Like, when I was going to the grocery store, I was buying like some more items in mid-January, saying like, oh, this could be useful to have like another bag of rice or some more oatmeal or peanut butter, like have just some couple extra weeks of food. But like, I mean, even I'm preparing, and like, so I expect like our leadership to definitely like do that. And it's tough. It's hard. This is hard on people. They don't know what to do. Like, all we're being asked to do is stay inside. So I implore all of you watching this, like, stay inside, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Like, if you're not feeling well, please, please, please go nowhere. Don't go to the grocery store more than once a week. And in fact, use grocery delivery or pickup, because let's not make all those people sick. Let's keep them healthy. The further we stay away, the better. That also, like, even if all we do is flatten the curve somewhat, that buys us time to get treatments. We're already starting to see like potential drugs or drug combinations that are currently out there that might work. And you know what? Every day that we delay this virus gives us another day to potentially find a cure or something that could treat or help. Because what we're trying to do is make this so that it's no worse than like a cold or nothing. I mean, obviously vaccine would be the best case scenario, but that's not happening. So we're hoping like warm weather helps. it looks like from the research that I've been reading that this virus definitely does not like warm weather. The half-life is reduced significantly in warm weather. Now, the big question is, will that have an effect on the spread of the virus? We don't know. We know that like it won't last on a doorknob as long. It will die quicker in your car. It won't stay on your mailbox as long. All that kind of stuff. But we still know it will still be contagious in the warm weather. So we don't know if there will be an effect or not. But we know that there's hope that there can be, which is always a really good thing. So those are just the things, you know, we're watching like what's happening in Italy right now and knowing that like we're on the same, like it's like this crash course that we're like headed down because we're not really doing much about it. You can't just have like one state shut down and the next state like not when people go back and forth. Like it doesn't work that way. Like that's not like a good thing. So that's kind of what we're experiencing and thinking and what's going through everyone's minds. I mean, it's really scary. I don't know how my students are going to do school when like they're worried about like their kids and their family and their parents and everyone else. Like I'm worried about my parents in Pennsylvania and my in-laws in New Jersey. Like New Jersey's like, oh man, their area is like not, it's like getting hit with this. And it's like, that's scary because I'm 40, so you know my parents are over 60. I mean, they're actually in the 60s and 70s, so it's like a little freaky. So that's like what's been happening, and that's kind of what's going on. And I'm really curious to see what happens in like my college, in my kids' schools, in just education in general. I'm curious to see what's going to happen to society, like as far as like economically, how are things going to change and what's going to happen. That's going to depend on what our leadership does. And I'm really hoping that things like shut down and we put this virus out so that we can get to some sense of normalcy. And I do encourage you to like do things that make you feel good, like watch movies, play video games, you know, do a puzzle, book, work, whatever it is that makes you meditate, exercise, whatever, you know, and exercise at home, obviously, or jog outside, you know, don't go to the gym, whatever it is that makes you like feel good, like do that and be sanitary, be clean. If you're sick, do not go out. Please don't touch your face a lot, all that kind of good stuff. And I think that if most people can do that, we'll get through this. Unfortunately, I feel like my age group and older or at least my age group, I feel like is taking this seriously. We all have little kids and we're very much more concerned about the economy. I don't know if others are or not. I mean, I see on Facebook, it seems like the crowd I'm friends with is self-isolating and stuff like that, but maybe that's a pretty biased group because they're all my friends, even though there's 500 of them. It's like, maybe we're a little biased in there that maybe I'm not friends with people who think of things differently enough. So, you know, anyway, stay safe, be healthy, stay calm, try to relax, and hopefully we'll get through this. All right. See you, everybody.